Good afternoon, guys. So my name is Owen Murray. I'm the founder of YourHire.ie. Before I kick off, I'd like to ask the audience a question, and the winner gets a free pair of Lucky Interview YourHire.ie socks. So can someone tell me how long, on average, the recruitment process takes from application to job offer? How many days that takes? Any takers? I got that guy in the green jacket there, yeah? I think you said 5 to 6 days, did you?
No, 1 month, 1 month.
Oh, 1 month.
Like 6
no.
months.
No.
Oh,
2 months.
So how many days?
60.
16?
60.
No.
real quick.
12 days.
1 day.
12 days.
I wish.
12.
12, no. We were close with someone said 1 month, so 30 days.
15.
Very close. We're getting closer. Oh, who said 33? You're really close now. I'm going to have to go to 33 here.
Okay.
Okay, it's 36 days. Well done.
Good
To you,
job.
sir. You're guaranteed you got a job now because you got a lucky pair of interview socks. Okay, no worries. So that there's a method to my madness, guys, on why I asked that question. So let's get straight into the laws. First of all, it's really important to understand the recruitment process. So make sure you ask your recruiter how many rounds there are, how long it will take, and who will be you'll be meeting as well. So you can look them up on LinkedIn, do a bit of a recce on their profile. And why should you ask these questions? Because it sets your expectations, keeps the motivation up, it enables you to tailor your approach, and it also increases the chance for success. So I'd like you to meet Anne. Anne is a client that I actually worked with recently. That's not her actual photo, but Anne is a project manager. She's immediately available for work. She was immediately available for work. She found a job now. But she's never interviewed before, and she needs to understand what to expect. So this is Anne's interview journey. Anne will apply on LinkedIn or through a company website, whatever way she wants to apply, and then her CV or her LinkedIn profile will be assessed. So these days it's really important to have your LinkedIn profile marrying your CV, because recruiters are looking on LinkedIn, and in a lot of cases they will make the decision to reach out to you based on your LinkedIn profile, not your CV. When the recruiter reaches out to you, then they'll set up a phone call. And that phone call, it's really important to remember, that is an interview. So a lot of candidates that I used to deal with in my career would be very relaxed on that phone call. But believe me, the recruiter is taking notes on you, and everything you say to that recruiter is being relayed back to the hiring manager. So once the recruiter then makes a decision to progress to the first round, usually the first round, and for Anne's case, was with the hiring manager. It's a really important part of the interview process. And then Anne, if it's a technical role, she'll do an assessment or a test if she gets past the first round. And depending on how senior Anne is, she'll do a second, third round, fourth, fifth. I interviewed at Facebook. I did 8 interviews before I was offered the job. And then Anne will be offered a job. So when Anne was offered a job, the first thing I said to her was that you don't have the job yet. That is a verbal agreement between you and the business. And I'll give you a kind of horror story of mine that I interviewed for a financial service company many years ago. And on the Friday, they offered me the job. And I had interview fatigue, and I cancelled all my other interviews going into the weekend, delighted. And then on the Monday, I got a call to say the job had been pulled because they didn't have the budget for it. So once you get a job offer, you don't have the job, make sure you keep your interviews going elsewhere. And then we'll do a reference check, and a reference check these days is usually just a dates confirmation and confirming that she's worked at where she said she worked. And then Anne will negotiate her salary, and she'll accept the job, sign her contract. There'll be an onboarding process. She'll get her laptop, her phone, whatever it is, on day one of Anne's new job. So good job, Anne. So just briefly about me, I have a degree in business administration. I have a master's in international business. a diploma in leadership and change management from UCD Academy, and I have a certificate in understanding ADHD. So the business is open to working with anyone with anxiety or ADHD. I did 6 years in agency recruitment, and I was a recruitment manager then at Accenture, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. You can see the social media theme here, and then Poly most recently, and I set up yourheart.ie a year and a half ago. So overall, I have 13 years experience in recruitment, both agency and in-house. My team is made up of me, Caroline, and Kate. Caroline is in Amsterdam, Kate's in the US, and between us we have 50 years of experience. A little bit about what we do, and I'll get back to the laws now. We do anything from CV review, LinkedIn optimization, mock interviews. We work with all levels, so we work with transition students right up to CEO level. And we work with anyone pre or post diagnosis with ADHD or any level of anxiety. I suffer from severe anxiety myself, so I have a lot of empathy for anyone going through a recruitment process with anxiety. And we do this in a one-to-one or a group setting. So law 2, tailor your CV for each position. I think Dan probably mentioned this earlier on, but it's really important to write 6 to 7 relevant bullet points for every role. Use data if possible. What I mean by that is quantify your responsibilities that you had in your previous roles. It will make you unique and stand out to any other candidate. Apply good layout and same fonts throughout. Keep it simple. I've seen a lot of CVs today with a lot of fancy links and colours. Keep it as simple as possible. Keep sentences short and concise. Information needs to be true, kind of an obvious one, but if you lie on your CV, you will be caught out in the interview or worse on day one. And include your achievements, projects, awards and recognition. That's going to make you unique compared to any other candidate. Rock your LinkedIn profile, so law 3. So I used to work at LinkedIn and I ran this training, but it's so important to have a professional photo. I had a senior leader from LinkedIn on the podcast a few months ago, and he mentioned to me that he won't even look at a profile on LinkedIn unless they have a professional photo. So really important. Write an impactful summary. Build your network in your area of expertise. So if you want to become a project manager just like Anne, then link in with project managers. Try to get meetings with those types of people and understand what they do. Post relevant content, only if you're comfortable with that. A lot of people don't like posting on LinkedIn. And then add relevant skills to the jobs that you're looking for, and check that your settings are correct. So check out that you're visible to as many people as possible. Ramping up the number of interviews, and it is a numbers game, guys. The more interviews that you get, the more of a chance you're giving yourself of actually securing a job. So connect to professionals in your industry. Anyone you've met or you've been interviewed by, especially any recruiters, anything like that, just get in the habit of connecting to them on LinkedIn. Tailor your CV to the job spec. Again, I've reiterated that. It's just so important. And critique a personalized intro in mail. Master your selling point and unique selling, your unique selling point. So what makes you different than the next candidate, the next 10 candidates that come through the door? They're the kind of things that are going to make the decision at the end of the process, whether you're the right candidate or not. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. If you haven't, make sure you brush up on this. So the STAR method is the only way to answer any behavioral-based interview question. So structured, it is when you're giving an example, the situation is 20% of the answer. There's no need for every detail. A lot of candidates that I interviewed over 13 years always spent a lot of time on this situation, and they were kind of wasting their time setting it all up. The task is 10%. So what was your goal? But the action is where, and how you achieved it is where you spend most of the time on your answer. So who was involved? Boom, boom, boom. And then onto the result. What were the positive actions from your what you achieved? This is something I try to perfect with a lot of my clients, and some people actually haven't even heard of it, which is crazy, really. But your answers will be so much better if you can perfect this technique. On to 6, we're getting there. So controlling nerves and anxiety. Try not to let nerves get the best of you. Everyone gets nervous in an interview, and over my 13 years in recruitment, I never had a hiring manager say to me once that this person is not going to get the job because they're nervous. A few people actually said it to me today that I get very nervous in an interview. it is normal. And honestly, if you don't get at all nervous, then you don't want the job enough, I believe. So they are a good thing. It means you want to be successful. Try breathing exercises, meditation to calm your heart down. You can do that maybe before a virtual interview. Maybe don't be doing breathing exercises in a reception area while you're waiting for the hiring manager to come collect you. But it does calm your heart down and levels your tone of voice and your body language as well. Go for a walk half an hour before the interview. I guarantee you'll come up with something on that walk that you'll say in the interview. And listen to music as well. I had someone from Universal Music with me a few months ago, and that was her thing. But apply the SHED method. So sleep is the key to everything. If you can get sleep around your interview process, so important. Hydration, drink enough water. Coffee is great, but if you drink loads of coffee in the morning, it dehydrates you, and then you crash in the afternoon. If you're interviewing at 2 o'clock, that's going to affect your body language, your tone of voice, and your energy levels. Exercise, key to everything. Fit body, fit mind, and diet. Diet's a funny one. If you're eating badly around your interview process, it can affect your energy levels as well. Interview etiquette. So making a good impression by nailing the basics. So don't stay up late the night before. Don't be out on a Saturday night if you've got an interview on a Monday morning. Honestly, it will affect you. Go easy on the fragrances. This is kind of a funny one, but I'll tell you a little story. When I was in London, I walked into a room and I was interviewing a guy for a very senior role, and the kind of smell of Lynx Africa hit me when I came through the door. So just go easy on the fragrances. And you have to think that the person interviewing is going to have to sit with you for 7-8 hours a day. So if it's too strong, that could be a reason why they don't hire you. If it's a virtual interview, wear as much stuff as you want. Don't schedule appointments. Don't be running around little the morning of your interview. And don't arrive too early. I had a client with me a few weeks ago, and he thought it'd be a great idea to arrive 45 minutes before the interview started. But actually, when the reception then rings up to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager realizes that the person's in reception waiting for them, they'll be in the middle of another meeting, and they'll be under pressure to go down to see you, and you're off to a bad note, on a bad note straight away. So try to empathize with that, and 10 to 15 minutes is acceptable. Virtual interviews, check the connection the night before. So I've been burnt on this as well, where I joined 2 minutes before and then realized I needed to download the latest version of Zoom. And unfortunately, I was 4 minutes late, panicking, trying to do that. So do that the night before. Don't check social media as well. If you can switch off social media for the day of your interview. I don't know about you guys, but if I see something on social media that annoys me, that can affect my body language and my tone of voice and my energy levels as well. So try and avoid it, even WhatsApp. And be nice to the receptionist. The receptionist is actually part of the interview process. We used to bring our receptionist out on nights out at LinkedIn, and we would always ask how the candidate was in the reception area, and if they were in any way rude or anything, they were an absolute no for the job. Law 8, what happens after the interview? So I get a lot of questions about this when I see a lot of cameras going up there. So the feedback usually takes 3 to 5 business days after the interview. You are within your rights to, and it is acceptable to send a follow-up email 5 working days after your interview, just to check in and say, look, I'm following up, I'm keen to get feedback. Unfortunately, the longer it goes on, the more of a chance it is that it is a no, because the company want to progress with the yes candidates, and that's fair enough. But also, it's also a necessity for them to come back to you if you are a no, to give you constructive feedback from that interview. If you can learn from that interview and bring it on to your next interview, that's actually a step towards getting the role that you want. A company that says no to you or ghosts you and doesn't come back to you after you've done an interview, I would say you've dodged a bullet there, because if they're treating their candidates like that, what are they treating their employees like? And it's okay if it's a no, as long as you learn from it. You may be considered for another position in the future as well. So leave on a good note. Ireland is, everyone knows everyone, so you need to make sure you have the right reputation and don't leave on a bad note. So mock interview, Law 9. The benefits of a mock interview, I do these a lot with my clients as well. It allows you to practice and prepare. It identifies weaknesses that maybe you're not picking up on in the interview itself. It builds your confidence. All the feedback that I get from my clients that get jobs are, Owen has now given me the confidence to go on and secure the job that I want from the mock interview. And then it's a great learning experience. It helps to anticipate what to expect. It enhances your communication skills. And it also helps with nerves as well. The more confident you are, the less nervous you'll be. Negotiation techniques, where the fun begins. So, this sometimes is where, when the job is offered to you, the control can shift a little bit to the candidate. And as long as you don't overuse that power, but you know now that the company wants you. So do your research, try to find out, what salaries other people are on with similar backgrounds. Be confident. They've now offered you the job. They want you in the door. Highlight your value as well if they haven't offered you the right salary. Be flexible as well. So all companies will have salary bands, and they can only go to certain salaries on certain salary bands as well. So try to be as flexible as possible. Don't rush it. Take at least a week, I would say, before accepting a permanent job. Contract roles can be accepted a lot quicker. It's less of a big decision, but for a permanent role, I would take a week, write all the positives and negatives down, and then make an informed decision after that. And thank the employer. They've offered you a job, so you have a great relationship with them now. Oh. And good luck with your next interview, guys. So I have a podcast called The Interview Experts. It's 11 episodes in now. I started season 2. I just did an interview with Brent Pope, a famous rugby player. And we talk about take care of our mental health during an interview process. And it's filled with tips and tricks about interviewing and how to get the job that you want. The 10 rules of interviewing is available on my website. Just go onto it, enter in your name and your email address, and it'll get sent out to you. And if you work with me as a client, you get a free pair of lucky interview socks, just like that gentleman down there. And today only, there's €50 off any package that I speak to you about. And thank you so much for your attention.
Ooh.